I'm back at the Business Design Centre in London for Stampex 2023. And since it was so much fun last time, I thought, let's do another Whatcha guide. I reached out on social media asking viewers to come to Stampex and show me something from their collection. So let's see what you got on this episode of #Philately. Okay, Erik, it's so good to see you at Stampex. How are you doing?
I'm really fine, thank you.
The first time I ever met you was at Stampex back in like 2018?
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Right.
Yeah, so we know each other for quite a while already.
Quite a while, yeah. And you're an active member in the online philatelic community?
Yes, as well.
As well?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You collect something very interesting. I've always taken an interest in this style of collecting involving Nassau Street. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yes, I read the book Nassau Street from Herman Hurst Jr. and that triggered me because he was talking about a place where a lot of stamp dealers were located, and that was Nassau Street in New York. So I started to look into that because I didn't know anything about it, and I found covers with Nassau Street on it. And I started collecting them, found out which ones were stamp dealers, which ones were not. And I ended up with a list that I now have from around 200 stamp dealers who were located in Nassau Street.
Nassau Street, just to get people to understand, Nassau Street was like one of the centers of stamp collecting.
For many years, the mecca of U.S. stamp collectors was New York's Nassau Street, where stamp shops still abound, although now they're to be found scattered everywhere.
Yes, it was the center of stamp collecting in the U.S. between, I would say, 1930 and 1970, the last one went. And they moved away from there because it is very close to Wall Street and the banks wanted the building, so they started to pay so much for the rent that the stamp dealers couldn't compete with that.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's extraordinary. Okay, so stamp collecting was in competition with the banks.
Yes.
in Wall Street. Okay. So you have something with you. Now, I'm very interested about this because you're saying that stamp collectors used to have these items to help you identify stamps. Can you tell me about them?
Yes. Stamp dealers do not only sell stamps and covers, they also try to make aids for collectors. So how do you identify certain stamps? And I brought you something for that.
All right, let's see what you got.
Yeah. This is created by TATHAM Stamp Company. They're called TASCO booklets. You can see it here, TASCO educational booklets. And these are all the same types but have different covers. And they also have different envelopes in which they came, which shows that they were sold and the prices went up. And what they actually do is they give you an identification chart for the stamps, with the colors, with etc. So this is for the 1 cent stamps and the 2 cent stamps of this series, with triangles, without triangles, and this helps collectors to identify what they have. And they made 15 different booklets. I only brought one, and that is because otherwise I could get issues at the border because of VAT that they want to receive.
Wow.
Where it's my own collection. Now, it's not only TASCO who did that. At that time, also Stanley Gibbons had a shop in New York, and they made similar instructions for collectors. A color chart and a type chart here. And I think this is really interesting because it shows that stamp dealers were not only there to sell their stamps but also to help the collectors to identify it. When they can identify it, of course, they need more stamps, so the stamp dealer also has a profit from that.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
so you would go and buy one of these packets if you were interested in that type of stamp to collect.
Yes.
So it would support your collecting interest. But today, people may collect these booklets, right? You collect these booklets.
I collect the booklets. There are 15 of them. One of the collectors cataloged them, and
Oh, so they've been catalogued.
They-
The booklets have been catalogued.
the booklets have been cataloged, and also the envelopes have been cataloged. And they have individual values assigned to, based on sales that he got from eBay up to, I think, 2012. Yes, this was created 2012.
Are these hard to get?
eBay, you will find them. So search for TASCO or for TATHAM stamp company, and you will find some. So in average, a price of 20 to 25 euros or dollars would be good. But there are some that are more valuable, and those are the ones you wouldn't expect it from. I'm trying to get that one here. It's trying to is having some really cheap stamps in it, and that is for the Boy Scouts. But these Boy Scouts booklets are really rare, so these are highly valued.
It's amazing because these stamps are really common.
These are really common stamps. The stamps are not worth the money that the booklet goes for.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So the booklet is value in itself.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you, Erik. Can you just give me a shout out for your awesome stamp club you have in the Netherlands? Can you tell me a bit about that?
We have a stamp club in the Netherlands. It's called Vereniging voor USA en Canada Filatelia, which means Society for USA and Canada Filatelia. And we are a nationwide club with about 170 members.
Wow.
And we have 7 meetings a year. And we have 2 Zoom meetings a year, of which you know everything because you presented one for us.
Yeah, it's an awesome club. So if you're in the Netherlands and you're interested in American philately or Canadian philately, this is the club to join, right?
Yes, it is. Have a look at our website, www.usca.nl.
Perfect. Perfect. It's always cool seeing you here at Stampex and seeing you online, Erik. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's always good to show something to people
I love it.
they might not have seen yet.
Absolutely. That's why I love this Whatcha concept. So thank you so much for contributing, and I look forward to seeing you doing the rest of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I just met Paul. Paul, you said you're from Ireland?
I'm from Kilkenny in Ireland.
Ireland, okay, and you came here for Stampex,
I
right?
came yesterday
family.
evening for Stampex.
Yeah?
Delighted to be here. It's fantastic.
Terrific. And you've been walking the floor looking for items. Is there anything specific that you collect?
I collect Ireland, I collect France, and I collect the US. And in themes, I collect lighthouses.
Lighthouses?
Yes.
That's a great theme.
Yes.
Terrific. So you actually found an item here that you want to talk about. Can you tell us what you got?
So I have a first day cover with a stamp of Seamus Heaney, famous Irish poet, Nobel Literary Prize winner. I don't have the stamp and I don't have the cover, obviously. So I was delighted to collect that.
So it's a first day cover. It's a fantastic image.
Yeah.
And you've got,
And
of
it's
course,
issued by the post office in Ireland, which is called Unpost. It's Irish for post.
oh yeah,
So I'm delighted to get this.
that's a beautiful postmark. I love what the actual graphic is here on the first day cover. It's one of his poems, right?
So it's a line from one of his poems.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with all his poems, I'm afraid.
yeah.
But he's a much prized poet in Ireland and worldwide.
Ah, I bet. I'm going to have to look more into him. But I appreciate you sharing this with me. Clearly, this is going into your collection, right?
Absolutely.
So,
I collect as many first day covers of Ireland as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to complete all the Irish stamps from the beginning in 1922 when Ireland separated from the UK,
yeah.
Britain, up to the present day.
How long have you been doing that?
I've only been collecting seriously for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was in hospital for a while, and my mother bought me a stamp collection to put in a stamp book. And I found it a few years ago, and that reignited my passion for stamps.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing, and enjoy the rest of Stampex while you're here.
Thanks very much, Graham.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you. Take care.
Hey, Luke. This is the first time we're meeting in real life. Is that right?
Yes, yes, I believe it is.
So you're on Discord and is it Instagram?
Yes.
Instagram. Terrific. And we interact quite a bit through that as well as through virtual Stampex, which took place a little while back. But you have something very interesting that's kind of personal, right?
Yes.
So what you got? Can you tell me?
So I quite a while back, just before coronation, I saw the stamps and I was really angry with the design. First of which, he's not having a crown, which is one of my pet peeves, that when someone doesn't follow tradition. And also the design of the stamp, it just doesn't speak Great Britain to me. It could just be any old person on the stamp. So I wrote a letter, and I actually got a response from Thomas Craig, and who is the head royal correspondent.
So I think this is extraordinary. I think this is fun in so many ways. It's topic because you're talking about stamps. You're addressing a recent issue, the King Charles III stamp that has gotten mixed reviews. And then, of course, you've written into... How does it work? Can you just write to the king?
You just write it up. I mean, you can make it as formal or as informal as you like. I mean, of course, when I was writing to the king, I was making sure it's as formal as I could possibly write it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then it's very common that the royal correspondent, somebody there will actually reply.
Yes, and the king apparently sees most of his correspondence.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I mean, I was speaking to someone the other day, and they actually got a letter from Thomas Craig as well. And because they wrote in saying, does the king own a pair of jeans? And then he got a letter back saying, yes, the king has a very wide and varied wardrobe.
Wow. That must be quite a job being a royal correspondent. Sounds like a lot of fun, actually. So you created a design, and we can place that on the right here, on the screen.
I did make him look a little bit like George W. Bush, but...
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And he basically just said, the king has asked me to thank you for this design. In other words, he's seen it, he hasn't liked it, and he's put on the fire for heat in the winter. So, yeah.
Did they use a King Charles III stamp to reply to you?
Funny question.
No way.
Funny answer to that.
They did? No, they did.
They used a stamp of Her late Majesty.
How about that? So after all that, maybe they did it because they knew how much you disliked it.
Well, yeah. Quite like how I got a corked postmark from the Palace Post Office. So of course the Palace got a post office on site.
Okay, I didn't know that. They didn't just walk outside to the first pillar box that's outside and they drop it there. They've got their own post.
Yeah, but you've got to remember how much letters they get in and out
sure.
a day. I mean, I've seen videos of them literally having bags and bags and bags.
You're a keen collector of Norway, is that right?
Yes, that is right.
So what do you collect about Norway?
I collect classic Norway. Of course, the main aim is to collect it all, but I might be 107 before I do that. But yeah, I especially like classic Norway, focusing on pre-UPU.
How long have you been collecting?
I've been collecting stamps.
Yes.
In general. Right, I've been collecting since about 2018.
Okay.
And I never meant to actually get into collecting. I was like, I'll buy a few train stamps, or buy a few space stamps. So I'm interested in science and trains. Then I found my stamp collection on the first day of lockdown, opened it up, and I was like, let's have a little look on eBay and see what stamps I can find. And then it just more and more and more and more came in until I started collecting penny reds, and then I went on to collecting Norway later. But I still collect British postmarks.
So you were here last year at
Yes.
Stampex.
I mean, I saw you about, but I was too nervous to stop you and say,
No!
hello!
No! Well, I'm glad you stopped me this time, and I'm so happy that you shared this fantastic cover and letter that you received from Buckingham Palace.
Thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you as well.
Terrific. Well, enjoy. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, here's Ehtasham. I've seen you before at Stampex. We met a couple Stampexes ago, right?
Yes, we did. Good memory. Yeah, it was, I think, about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and you were telling me about Pakistani stamps.
Yes.
Which were extraordinary because I haven't really touched Pakistani stamps yet.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to learning about it, and you were giving me a good lesson on it.
Yes.
What is your collecting interest? Is it Pakistani stamps?
So specifically, yes, generally Pakistan, but more specifically, I collect what we call as Pakistan overprints on British India stamps. So as we know, Pakistan came into independence in August 1947 after the partition of British India into a Hindu predominant India and a Muslim predominant Pakistan. And Pakistan had two parts, East and West Pakistan. The East Pakistan later became independent as Bangladesh, we now know as Bangladesh. And by the beginning of October, the Indian government would provide stamps to Pakistan, which would be overprinted, the word Pakistan. The consignments were delivered regularly to Pakistan, but the demand was still very high. So the postal authorities authorized the local post offices to do local overprinting in their areas, and that's the area which is most exciting for me, because from hand stamping to handwriting to typewriting, every means was employed to overprint the stamp. Giving you a very common example of a hand stamping done in Lahore. See this? This is just an ordinary hand stamp. And this is a hand stamp done on a postcard in Peshawar. This is a mint postcard. And see this. This is another very distorted lettering. This is a metal die used in Peshawar to overprint. And this is just a very brief overview. I mean, there are just like literally hundreds of different kinds of overprints. And this is an area, I mean, there are very few areas, in my opinion, after the World War II where you can still do a lot of research. And I think Pakistan overprints, these stamps, these postal stationery items are only valid for about 2 years or so after independence. And then they were, once Pakistan started producing their own stamps, they were deemed obsolete and were not valid for postal means.
So there's a lot still being learned today.
We still come across new findings, new kinds of overprints which haven't been described before, and there are a lot of missing links. Especially we don't know a lot about the overprinting done in East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. Let me show you an example of
what you got.
of how confusing it can be. These two air letters I found today in Stampex. To the naked eye, as I said, to an inexperienced eye, they would both appear very similar. But the bottom one was overprinted at Nassau, again in India, and the top one was overprinted in Lahore. And both are machine overprint. What's interesting for me? They look identical. They look identical, but if you measure it, the length and the height, you will find they are different. And what's exciting for me as an experienced collector in Pakistan overprint, what's exciting for me is this postmark. It's Khanewal. These Lahore machine prints were used throughout the Punjab province, but mostly Lahore. So it's very unusual to find this Lahore machine print used from a small area, Khanewal. So this is a new finding for me.
A fine example of the difference.
Yes.
As subtle as it is, there's a difference between those two overprints.
And it makes a difference in the price as well. You can get this for like £5-10, but this you probably won't get for 30 or 40 pounds.
It's incredible how
it is. And also because in these letters, postally used items, these air letters have the letters inside them. You can read the letters and it tells you about the times, how people were living in those times, what was going, especially as I said, it was a chaotic time. Partition had just happened. People were moving across the borders. Hindus were migrating to India, Muslims were migrating to Pakistan, so there was a lot of chaos, and it tells a lot of stories if you dig deeper.
So where can I learn more information like this?
So basically, we have a society called Pakistan Study Circle, which is dedicated to the study of Pakistan philately, including India and Bahawalpur and East and Bangladesh as well. We have our own website. You can access the website fully. It's open. You don't have to be a member to access all the articles in the gallery. And we have made loads of articles available for public viewing, including a lot of articles on Pakistan overprints.
I appreciate this. Thank you so much for sharing.
No problem.
Of course, I want to explore more about Pakistan and Pakistan stamps, something I'm looking forward to. And of course, you've given me an introduction to it. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of Stampex while you're here.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
So this is Oliver at Stampex. This is day 4 at Stampex, and you were at the kids auction, right?
Yeah.
And so you were bidding on items, and you won lot 18.
Yes.
What exactly is it? Do you know?
It's a red penny black with a sticker.
Oh, that's a fantastic. It's basically also a little small envelope, right?
Yeah.
We've got the penny red. It's got letters on it. It's what's that? Is that J? No, IJ, I think.
It's from like 1896. They sent it.
Yeah.
And it has a seal on the back.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. And look at that handwriting. What do you think of that handwriting? That's crazy, right?
It's fancy.
It's very fancy. So I always find it interesting, although I struggle to read it because it's so fancy.
My grandpa has writing like that.
Does he really?
Yeah.
It's a thing of the past, I suppose. But really cool. Are you proud of this win? I think that's a really cool item, right?
Yeah.
And do you collect anything specific?
Australian, USA, and English.
Wow, okay. So that's quite a collection then. How long have you been collecting?
A year maybe?
A year? Wow, it's great to see you at Stampex. Oliver, congrats on this win. And of course, I look forward to maybe seeing you again at the next Stampex and seeing how your collection's going. Right.
Alright.
Enjoy. Thanks. I love the shirt, John. So, John, right?
Yes.
This is your second time to
Yes.
Stampex?
Yes.
I believe I saw you last time.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
And you have an online presence on
Yes.
Instagram. What is that?
Yankee Reaper 5.6.
Post a lot of great pictures of stamps and
Yes.
the odd pint.
The odd pint. And beer mats.
Beer mats. You're a beer
Yeah.
mat collector. You're actually telling me there's a name for beer
Yeah.
mat collectors. What is that?
Tegestology.
Say that one more time.
Tegestology.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'll insert that on the screen here. That's really cool. Okay. So John, what do you collect when it comes to postage stamps and postal history?
Currently, most anything that strikes my fancy.
Ah, okay. So worldwide collector? or-
Yeah, I'm worldwide at the moment. I'm trying to find a specialty.
So you're in that phase of the collecting where
Yeah.
everything is interesting and you're trying to pin down what exactly could you specialize in.
That's it. Yeah.
This is a very difficult phase of the hobby because there's so many interesting things you could just take. So you brought something, right?
I did. Yes.
What you got?
I've got a little Boots stamp album
Wow, that's
from the Boots the Chemist.
that's a nice little small
Yeah.
album, pocket size, right?
Yes, very easy to carry. Just I think 6 pages.
A stamp swap book. You put your stamps in there and you swap them.
Yeah.
With your friends at school
Yeah,
or something.
or you know, if you wanted to bring them here to look at.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
From the Boots Pharmacy. When were they selling these?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
I would assume quite some time ago.
I think I have a few cover albums that were from Boots
Yeah.
back in the day. So interesting. Pharmacies used to sell stamp equipment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, there was a time when stamp collection was quite popular.
Yeah. And what do you have inside it?
I've got a couple stamps to fit Graham's need.
Oh, look at this. You got some rhinos.
Yeah, some rhino stamps.
All right.
Yeah. I
Okay.
posted the Coco's Keeling back in,
Yeah.
I think, June.
And I said, I didn't have
Graham said, "Oh, I don't have that."
that. Oh, that's fantastic.
And I said, "Hey, we'll fill him up."
Oh, so these are for me?
Yes,
Stamps?
yeah, these are for you. And I know he's into cricket.
Oh! Actually, I don't have quite a few of these.
I stole a few out of here.
Stole a few, yeah.
Yeah, because it was packed full. It had a lot of duplicates, so I kept the duplicates.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I look forward to adding all these to my collection. I mean, my cricket collection is now going to grow quite a bit as a result of this. So
Great,
thank you.
great, made my day.
Yeah, absolutely. And also thank you for watching the channel and being part of the online community.
Yeah, you've given me the impetus to go online.
Well, please keep sharing images of stamps and what you find as you explore the world of philately. I appreciate it, John.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you. You have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Right, buddy. Bye-bye.
All right. Hello, Dan. This is your first time at Stampex, is it right?
It is my first time at Stampex and any stamp show, so really exciting to be here.
Thank you. And you're a viewer that has actually written into the channel, one of the first viewers that wrote into the channel.
Yeah, I have actually. If people remember, it was from one of the first Mail Day episodes, so...
So thank you for watching. Of course, thank you for your support. You come all the way from the Netherlands
That's right.
for Stampex, and you're here for just today?
No, I'm leaving on Sunday.
So you're leaving on Sunday. Oh, so
Yeah.
you're doing the full time, but you also go check out London a bit and have some
Yeah,
fun. Right?
visit the Postal Museum, so...
Terrific. Do the mail rail.
I will. I saw it in the video, it looked amazing, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be sure to check it out.
It's one of my favorite things to do here. So what is it that you collect?
I collect mainly new issues from the Netherlands and Belgium, because, well, I am from the Netherlands, so I have like a tie to it, and I visit Belgium a lot as well. And I also collect train stuff, basically any stamps with a train or covers that have been on a train.
So what did you bring? What you got?
So I brought this cover. It's a registered cover from the Netherlands, and there's a bit of a backstory behind it. In 2017, the Dutch Postal Service, PostNL, they said they were gonna withdraw all the date stamps from post offices in the Netherlands, and collectors were obviously very upset. So in mid-2017 they reached an agreement that they will issue new date stamps with a different design. They were easier to use, but the new design had a bit of a flaw in that the date section could easily fall out. So what I have here, is the only cover I've ever seen where the date is actually upside down. So yeah, you can see here on the date that it says PostNL, the name of the city, number of the post office, but the date on all postmarks is inverted from the rest of the postmark.
Is this the start of an incorrect postmark collection that you're going to have?
I think so. I really enjoy collecting like the date stamps from the post offices. Usually when you send mail just in the mailbox, it gets processed at the nearest facility, and in the Netherlands there are only 5 that you get a machine cancel from. So it is in generally very rare to get like a date stamp from a post office, but especially if it is incorrect like this one.
Can we talk about the stamps as well? There's some interesting stamps on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a lenticular stamp. It features a famous Dutch actress, Carice van Houten, and it has a very high value because the technology was very expensive when they tried to print these stamps. There's also 2 other lenticular stamps from the Netherlands for the Winter Olympics.
So that's quite something. So this is a high value stamp. What's the value of it?
When in the Netherlands we don't have like values on the stamps anymore that are issued now.
Yeah.
This has 5, which is would converted now it would probably be worth like €5 and 5 cents.
Okay.
So it's in a registered cover, so which costed in total €9 and 5 cents. So
€9 and 5 cents. What does the lenticular do when you move it? What is?
She puts her finger. Yeah, she puts her finger in her mouth.
What?
Yeah, it's also considered to be a bit of an offensive stamp.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bizarre one.
It's very.
What's the actress's name?
Carice van Houten.
Carice van Houten. Okay.
I'm sure if you look it up, you can find.
I'm gonna have to.
About the stamp.
Do a little research there. A little research. And then you've got these supermarket ones.
Yeah, these are from the anniversary of Albert Heijn, which it's the biggest supermarket in the Netherlands. So we have these 4 stamps that feature. This one has a hamster because that's like their mascot. They have a hamster mascot. Someone with a shopping cart, coffee beans, and then one of these Godem Zaanse houses.
Okay.
Because they are originally from Zaandam in the Netherlands, so they have like cookies featuring the design and everything.
Yeah.
So, and then we also have this this grieving stamp is what we call when which is used to send mail like invitations to a funeral. So the Postal Service sees these stamps being used on special envelopes, and then they can make sure that it is as like priority in the mail system.
That's interesting. It looks like a standard definitive, right? So it's just
Yeah, it doesn't like I think the goal when they design. I think I read it somewhere in an interview even that they said like I want to make it like as bland as possible,
Yeah.
but still make it stand out. And even like a few years ago, they issued this one says 44 cents, which now is not being issued anymore. It is the one issued now is the same design, but it just says 1 for letters up to 20 grams. And a few years ago, they issued like a brown one with a value too, because like the companies that send a lot of grieving mail, they specifically asked the postal service to come up with a new design because they didn't think it was very elegant to have 2 stamps on a card. You don't see very often. The one with the 2 value 2, I rarely see them. I only saw like 2 ever, I think.
so. Why was it used on this cover?
I think just to make up the postage, €9.05 is a very odd price when looking at the price of stamps. So, yeah, just a low value stamp to make up the amount that was necessary to pay. They're easy to come by, so.
Okay. It's an interesting collection or selection of stamps used on the cover. And of course, with the postmarks, just making it absolutely collectible.
This is my favorite piece from my collection. It also, like I haven't been collecting stamps for a very long time, and I just ordered some mint stamps that I really enjoyed. And I just got this as an accident, basically. So that was also like encouraging to me that you don't always have to buy something expensive or something cool. Sometimes you just get it from buying stamps online.
Basically, one of your favorite items is a very modern cover from last year.
It is. It's from 2022. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I hope that you enjoy the rest of Stampex while you're here. Definitely enjoy the mail rail and the Postal Museum tomorrow.
I will.
And I look forward to bumping into you throughout the rest of the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a great honor.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. All right, take care, Dan.
Yes, you too.
I still haven't found that Bora stamp.
Oh, you're on the hunt for the Bora Bora?
Yeah, I thought you'd have brought one.
You're the second person that has said that to me today.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rick, it's a pleasure to meet you. Is this your first day at Stampex?
First day today, yeah.
First day today? Have you been to Stampex before?
Oh, many times.
Many times?
Yeah.
All right, terrific. And I actually know you from the online community. You're one of the viewers that comments regularly on the channel.
Pretty well.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. Thank you. And you also have an Instagram account posting stamps. So, Rick, can you tell me exactly what do you collect?
Well, I can show you 2 of the things I collect.
Okay, all right. So that's even better. What you got then? What you got that you can show me?
What I got here is Eva Peron.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she is. There's some really beautiful stamps. They came out just about a month after she died, because her husband Juan Peron, the dictator of Argentina at the time, he decided that there should be a set of stamps in her memory, and nobody in the post office was supposed to obliterate her face with a postmark, and that was the law. But there were some people who hated her. Obviously, it's like
wow,
a bit like Margaret Thatcher here.
yeah.
And this is the foundation building, which Eva Peron actually. It was her legacy, basically, and I believe they still use it for something. And these are some of the covers. They're quite hard to get, actually. If I see any around, I usually snap them up. I need to get hold of this book.
Okay, so it's been covered.
Yeah, it's in Spanish, but it's, if you've got a smattering of
comprehensive listing of stamps and money-related items.
Yeah.
Featuring Eva Peron.
Yeah. She's very famous.
Yeah.
Well, she was very famous. She never came to the UK. She wasn't invited for some reason or other.
Why do you find interest in Eva Peron? How did that start?
Well, I think, there was a musical called Evita. Well, I was collecting this stuff before that came along. So, and it's just a fascinating study, I mean, if you look at some of this stuff, and there's one thing I haven't got, which one of your viewers might know about, is she had ships named after her. Okay, And what I'm after is a postcard actually cancelled on the ship, the Visa. See? And I'd probably not give me eyeballs for it, but I would pay quite well for one if anybody's got one.
Okay. And so you said you have another topic here that you collect.
That's part of it. The other topic I do is space. I do a lot of space stuff. I've done 2 presentations. I did one for the British Society of Russian Philatelic. That was in 2019.
Yeah.
But here I've got a signature of Yuri Gagarin.
Oh, really?
And I've got a certificate tucked away in there somewhere.
Oh, that's a fantastic item.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've got another sign cover here, and this has got several cosmonauts on. There is the second one's Yuri Gagarin, then Titov, then Popovich. Yeah.
So is it space that you like, or is it cosmonauts?
It's the cosmonauts. I like to get into the psychology of these people. What makes them want to do it?
Yeah. What makes you want to sit in a tin box and shoot yourself into space?
And I sat in one of those in Montpellier in France. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And this is a press photograph. I'm not sure what year it was now, but yeah, in the Moscow TV Centre, 12th of April, which was the Russian stamp day, April the 12th, which is the date he went into space. This came from 1963.
Yeah.
That wasn't cheap either.
I imagine.
And this is Tereshkova and Tchaikovsky. That's actually her signature.
It's quite an impressive collection you got.
Well, that's and this is just one of the pages out of my album, really. These came out in 1961 and 1965.
Aluminum coated commemorative stamps.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen them in real life.
And there's a complete sheet.
Wow.
It's not the rarest of them. But
yeah, but still, it's fantastic.
Nice to have.
Okay, well, it's been really great, Rick. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I look forward to seeing you more online in the comments section.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Right, you enjoy the rest of Stampex?
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Great to meet you.
This video was made in partnership with the Philatelic Traders Society, the PTS, a society protecting the philatelic trade since 1929, in which its reputation for honesty, integrity, and professionalism spans the globe. Collectors purchasing from dealers must look for the PTS shield to make sure their purchases come from a reputable PTS dealer. To learn more and look through the dealer directory, or even apply to have your stamp store join the PTS, go to thepts.net. More videos to come, so stay tuned. As always, thank you for watching and happy exploring.